Today, I'm going to explain the movie called The Dark Tower, where a boy's dreams uncover a deadly battle to save the universe. Stay tuned. The movie starts with a group of children playing happily in a field. Suddenly, strange people appear and walk toward them. At the same time, an alarm bell rings, and the bracelets on the children's wrists light up. The children walk to a nearby base, as if they have no choice. Inside the base, there are monsters disguised as humans, working. The children are tied to chairs. While the children scream in pain, a powerful energy blast shoots out of the base into the sky. It destroys a tall tower and causes a huge earthquake that shakes the entire area. But then, we learn this is just a dream of a boy named Jake. When Jake wakes up in the real world, his room is shaking because of a real earthquake. Jake Chambers is a teenager living in a small apartment in New York with his mom, Lori, and stepdad, Lon. Jake is troubled because his father passed away. On TV, the news reports that earthquakes are happening in many places around the world. Jake thinks the earthquakes are connected to the dreams he has been having. He often draws scenes from his dreams and hangs the drawings on his wall. Lon is frustrated that Jake has to see a psychiatrist, saying it costs too much money. At school, Jake is busy drawing a scene from his dream when some classmates bully him. He fights back, but the teacher stops him. After school, Jake visits his psychiatrist. The doctor says Jake's drawings are a result of losing his dad. But Jake insists his dreams are real and connected to the earthquakes. On his way home, Jake sees a strange man on the side of the road. The man looks exactly like the monsters disguised as humans in his dreams. Later, a homeless man on the street warns Jake in a panic, saying they are taking special children like him. Scared, Jake runs to catch the bus and goes home. At home, Lori and Lon argue about Jake. Lori is upset about his trouble at school. She suggests sending Jake to a clinic outside the city to help kids like him. Tired of the arguments, Jake agrees, not realizing what the clinic really is. In his room, Jake decides to stop drawing pictures of his dreams. But when he falls asleep, he has another frightening dream. This time, he sees a strange man with a ghostly whistle killing someone. This is Walter, a powerful sorcerer who wants to destroy the world by bringing evil to power. In Jake's dream, he sees two men talking in the woods. Suddenly, they hear a whistling sound. They quickly stand up and point their guns into the foggy air. Walter appears. He hypnotizes one of the men, who falls under his control and dies. The second man resists Walter's magic. He tries to shoot Walter from behind, but Walter catches the bullets and throws them away like they are nothing. Before leaving, Walter says that the tower's fall cannot be stopped. Jake also sees a vision of a house in his dream. This house is important and seems to lead to the strange world he dreams about. When Jake wakes up, he quickly draws the house and posts the picture online, asking if anyone knows where it is. Soon, staff from the clinic arrive at Jake's house to take him away. But Jake notices something strange. These people look exactly like the monsters wearing human skin from his dreams. Jake runs upstairs with his mom and tries to explain, but she doesn't believe him. While this happens, someone online replies with the location of the house in Jake's drawing. Jake uses this moment to make an excuse and goes to the bathroom. From there, he climbs out the window to escape. One of the monsters notices and follows him, surprising Jake's parents. Jake runs onto the roof and then down to the streets, dodging the monsters. He finds a tunnel and uses it to escape. After running for a while, he arrives at the house from his dreams. His mom calls him, and he answers to calm her down before entering the house. Inside, Jake finds a high-tech portal that requires a number to open. He remembers the number from his dream and enters it. Just as he's about to go through the portal, a demon made of wood appears to stop him. Jake fights the demon and manages to destroy it. He steps through the portal and enters the mid-world, the strange world he has been dreaming about. Meanwhile, back at Walter's base, he learns that someone has used a portal to enter mid-world. He is angry and begins investigating. Jake wanders in mid-world and soon meets a man, Roland, the gunslinger he saw in his dream. Roland realizes Jake has a strange and powerful ability. He decides to take Jake to a nearby village to meet a seer who can help them understand Jake's powers. Back in the real world, Walter goes to the house where Jake used the portal. He finds a piece of wood with Jake's blood on it and takes it to a place called Dixie Pig. This place is full of monsters disguised as humans. Walter questions the owner of Dixie Pig and orders him to find the person who entered mid-world. He also discovers that Jake has a rare powerful ability called a pure shine, which allowed him to pass the house demon. Meanwhile, Jake and Roland travel through the forest toward the village, preparing for what lies ahead. As Jake and Roland stop to rest, Jake learns a shocking truth. The man killed in his dream was Roland's father. Meanwhile, Walter interrogates the skin people who chased Jake and finds Jake's home address. Back in Mid-World, Roland explains the mystery of the tower. The tower stands at the center of the universe and has existed since the beginning of time. It protects the universe from the darkness outside by emitting powerful energy. Walter, however, wants to destroy the tower by using special children, like Jake, to weaken it. If the tower falls, darkness will flood the universe and Walter will rule. One night, as Jake sleeps, he hears a voice calling to him. It leads him to an empty field where he sees a vision of his deceased father. But when Jake tries to touch the illusion, it turns into terrifying monsters. Just in time, Roland appears and saves him, bringing him back to reality. As they return, the duo encounters two more monsters. During the fight, Roland is severely injured. Back on Earth, Jake's parents return home to find Walter waiting for them in the kitchen. Jake's mom, Lori, realizes that Walter is the man from Jake's drawings. When she mentions the drawings, Walter kills Jake's stepfather, Lon, on the spot. He then takes Lori upstairs, trying to get information about Jake. Meanwhile, Roland and Jake reach the village and meet a seer to learn Walter's location. Walter, back at his base, orders his henchmen to find Jake, knowing Jake's power can give him enough energy to destroy the tower. The seer reveals that Jake has a pure shine, a rare ability that lets him see other worlds and share his visions with others. Using Jake's vision, they pinpoint Walter's location. Roland and Jake decide to use a portal in the village to travel back to Earth and stop Walter. That night, Roland convinces the villagers to let them use the portal, as it's the only way to save the tower. But outside the village, Walter's minions, the Tahines, launch a brutal attack. The monsters invade, killing many villagers. Despite his injuries, Roland fights them off to protect Jake. Walter, watching the attack from afar, orders the Tahines to capture Jake. But Roland manages to save him. Before leaving for Earth, the seer warns Jake not to use his powers, as it will reveal his location to Walter. Finally, Jake and Roland travel to Earth, arriving in a kitchen. Walter, meanwhile, loses track of them as they head to a hospital to heal Roland's injuries. Back in the village, Walter confronts the seer and mercilessly kills her when she refuses to give him Jake's whereabouts. In New York, Jake and Roland wander the streets and meet a homeless man who had previously warned Jake about the skin people. Jake uses his shine to get a clue from the man about the location of the next portal. They decide to return to Jake's house for more information. Walter, still unable to track Jake, leaves a cruel surprise for him at the house. When Jake and Roland arrive, they find Jake's mom, Lori, dead. Devastated, Jake uses his shine to see how she was killed. But Roland warns him to let go of the pain, as using his shine too much will allow Walter to find him. Roland comforts Jake and vows to avenge Lori's death. Together, they prepare for the final confrontation with Walter. After the tragic events, Roland teaches Jake how to use a gun, preparing him for the battles ahead. Together, they head to a gun shop to buy more bullets. However, their preparation is short-lived as Walter soon traps them. As Jake steps outside, the door locks behind him, leaving him stranded. Inside, Roland is ambushed by Walter, while Jake is quickly surrounded and abducted by the skin people. Before being taken, Jake uses his shine to alert Roland. Jake is transported to the Dixie Pig, where Walter waits. Meanwhile, Roland fights his way through the skin people, heading toward the pub where the portal is located. Walter eventually takes Jake through the portal to his base, where he plans to use Jake's shine to attack the tower. Jake manages to use his powers to send Roland the code to Walter's base. At the pub, Roland faces a relentless barrage of bullets, but his unmatched marksmanship allows him to push through. When the skin men try to shut the portal to stop Roland, Jake uses his shine to keep the gate open. Walter, sensing Jake's power, begins provoking him to unleash his full energy, aiming to destroy the tower and cause a devastating quake. Roland finally reaches Walter's base, forcing Walter to leave the portal and face him directly. Using his sorcery, Walter unleashes his full power, trying to crush Roland beneath concrete and defeat him. However, Jake uses his shine to wake Roland, giving him the strength to fight back. In an epic showdown, Roland uses his skills and shoots Walter, killing him once and for all. He then rescues Jake and destroys Walter's base, ensuring the tower's safety. The movie concludes with Roland and Jake returning to Earth. As Roland prepares to head back to Mid-World, he invites Jake to join him as his companion. Jake agrees, and together, they embark on a new journey to protect the tower and face whatever dangers lie ahead. The end. Thanks for watching.